What's up guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be a lot interesting. This is what we want to do, as you guys can see in my hand, and the placket at the edge of the black fabric, you can see it has no closing. That's the tricky part, and I want you guys to pay attention in this video very well. We're going to do this step by step. So before we get to the video, you know what you guys are supposed to do: smash on the like button. I don't even know why you guys don't like smashing on the like button, but this video is going to start only after you smash the like button. So I'm waiting for you. You can see my hand. I'm waiting for you. Have you smashed the like button? Have you smashed? I'm waiting. Okay, yes. Now let's get straight into the video. So here is the fabric. Here's my main borders. I already cut my back and my front, and you know the design is going to be at the front area. The back is just a separate design on a separate way, so I'm just going to put that aside. I'm just going to put that one here. So on the front panel, you can see right there in my hand, on the front panel, the first thing you're going to do is to decide where the design is going to be. So on this one, the design is going to start from after your half length measurements. For adults, half length measurement is usually 17 inches. This outfit is for an adult, so it's going to be at around your stomach area. So I'm writing stomach. Around your stomach, that's your tummy area. The design is going to be at your tummy area. So the design is going to start from your 17 inches, which is your half length measurement. It's going to start from 17 inches. So this is the wrong side of the fabric, but I'll be working on the right side of the fabric. So I'm just going to open it into two. This is the right side of the fabric. So you guys can see here. Just make sure it's aligned very well and it's very straight. So from this edge, as you can see my hand right here, from the shoulder area, I'm going to measure 17 inches. That's my half length measurement. You can see that, 17 inches. You can see here. And the height of the design itself, the height of the design is what you're going to measure next. For this one, we'll be using 8 inches by 8 inches. So from that 17 in which I measured before, I'll be marking 8 inches, which will be for the height. You can see that. So now for the wideness of the design, we'll be going with 8 inches by 8 inches, as I said. So from that center point of your fabric, I'll be placing my 4 inches right there. You can do any measurement in which you want. If you want it wider than that, you can go for that. If you want it smaller than that, you can go for 7.5 or whatever you want. But on this one, I'll be placing the 4 inches at the center, and I'll be marking my 8 inches right here. So that's 4 divided by 2. That's 8 divided by 2. So that's where my main design is going to be. So I'm going to mark the same thing at this place also. 4 inches, then I'll mark 8 here, and I'll mark the beginning here. You can see that. So this is the fabric that is going to be the background, as you guys can see here. So I'm going to cut exactly the same thing, which is 8 inches by 8 inches for the background itself. So I'll be using black fabric on this one. If you want to use any fabric, you can just go with it. So after cutting the black fabric, I cut 8 inches by 8 inches. Let me place the rule there so you guys can see that, 8 inches by 8 inches. The next thing I'm going to do now is to apply my fusing to the wrong side of the fabric. I'm going to apply my fusing there. Make sure you iron it and it's straight, and you apply your fusing. I'm just going to get my wrong side. This is the wrong side of the fabric. I'm just going to chalk it, and I'm going to apply my fusing. Then we're going to continue the stitching. This is the fusing that I'll be using. It's going to be a light fusing. It's not going to be a hard fusing. You can see that. I call it chest gum most of the time, but you can just go and get something, a light fusing, something that's not too hard. So after fusing it, you can see what we have. The black fabric is a little bit thicker than normal. You can see how it feels in my hand. You're going to place it on your fabric. It's going to be at that center part in which we measured. You can see here. Just align it very well. Make sure it is straight and smooth. You can see that after it's aligned very well, you're going to place our gum under it, and at the edges of the fabric, just under it. So make sure you iron it very well. I'm going to place the camera so that you guys can see what I'm doing clearly. So let me place the camera so that you can see it closer. So just like this, all you're going to do now is to lift off the fabric a little bit. Make sure you are still on that 8 by 8 inches in which you're working. Place the hemming gum under it, just like that, and simply iron it down. You can see what I'm doing. Simply iron it down. So far, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you smash the like button. It is very important. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to get notified when I upload newer video. So make sure you iron it down very well. You can see. So you can see what it's going to look like. That place is holding it tightly. So you're going to do exactly the same thing all around the edges. You're going to do the same thing all around it. So after doing that, this is what you're going to have. You can see how firm it is on the bodice itself. That's what we're going to get. So the next thing we're going to do now is to simply cut out all the edges, all the excess edges. So the edges I'm going to cut on this one now, it's not going to be up to like an inch. It's going to be like 3/4 of an inch. You can see it's going to be 3/4 of an inch. It's not going to be up to like 1 inch. That's what we're going to cut. So what I'll be using for the inner of the placket is going to be this. It's a collar stay. I'll be using a collar stay because I want it to be hard. In case you don't want it to be that hard, you can go for something not hard as a collar stay, but I'll be using a collar stay on this one. And I cut it at 3/4 of an inch. The wideness is 3/4 of an inch, and the height, you're just going to place it and get your height, the length measurement in which you want. On this one, I will just measure the preferred length that I want. I'll be working with 10.5 inches because I don't want it to be too long. I'll be working with 10.5 inches. So I'm just going to measure 10.5 inches here. You can see that, and I'll simply cut it out 10.5. So I'll be cutting 4 pieces of this because 4 pieces, one is going to come like this, the other will go like this, the other will go like this, and the other will go like this. You can see that. So this is the 4 pieces that I just cut. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut the fabric we are going to be using itself. I already showed you guys in the beginning of the video. This is the fabric we're going to be using. We're going to cut 2 of this. We're going to cut 2 of this, and we're going to cut 2 of the black also. We're going to cut 2 black also. So what we're going to be cutting on the main fabric itself is going to be 1/4, so that we will have something to fold over the collar stay, over the interfacing that we cut before. So we'll be cutting 1/4 of the fabric. You can see that, so that we will have something to fold. So let me cut this out and show you guys. So this is what we're going to see. You can see the measurement, the wideness is going to be 1/4, and the height is going to be a little bit longer than the collar stay in which we cut before. So I cut this one also at 1/4. You can see that. So when I place it in between the fabric, we can have something at the edges to overlap and iron down. You can see that. So the next thing we're going to do now is to simply cut our sharp edge on this one. So just fold the collar stay into 2 and cut the edge. So we're going to be having a sharp edge like that. You can see you're going to do the same thing on all of the interfacing, all of the collar stay and interfacing. They are the same thing. Some people call it collar stay, some people call it interfacing, hard or soft. So that is it. You can see that. And the next thing I'm going to do now is to simply iron it. So just place this right here. So this is the side I want to be using for the front panel. So just place it in between. You can see that. And simply iron it. You can see what I'm doing. Simply iron it down. After it has glued to the fabric itself, you can see what we're having. So I'll be trimming the edge. I'm just going to trim out this edge right here. Now trim out this edge right here also. You can see that. So I will start the fold from the edge part. So just fold it over that sharp edge. just fold it and hold it down. You can see that. You can see what we're having. I'm going to do the same thing at the other side also. You can see that. Do the same thing here. Simply iron it down. You can see what we're having. So the next thing you're going to do is on the sides. You can see how sharp the edge is. So just fold up the sides and iron it down. Then you can simply cut the excess out. You're going to do the same thing on the black fabric also. So this is what we're going to be having. You can see what we are having so far in my hand. Just make sure they are smooth and they are neat and they are sharp. So far, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to smash that like button. It's very important. So this is how the design is going to be. You're going to arrange it this way. You can see like this. So during the sewing aspect, I will take you guys to the sewing machine and we're going to sew it together step by step. I'll make sure this other one is going to enter inside of this one. You can see the down part is going to be closing. But it is doing the sewing that you guys are going to understand what I'm about to do here, because there won't be a closure. There won't be like an external closure. All the closure are going to be inside of, you can see that. Just place it under here like this. So I'll be taking you guys to the sewing machine now. We're going to do this step by step all together. So make sure you pay good attention to the process. And you can even use this technique to do any other design you want to do. And you're going to get a very smooth result. So let's go straight to the sewing machine and do this step by step. So from the beginning, just stitch it all the way down. You can see, just stitch it all the way down, just like what I'm doing right here. Make sure your stitches are straight and your hand is straight also. So I'm stitching the black first. You know, during the arrangement on the table, I arranged the black first. So this is where this one is going to come in. We're going to place it under the black. We're going to simply stitch it all around. So let me continue with the stitches. At that side, you're not going to close that side because this red, this other color is going to overlap it. So I want you guys to pay attention here. It's very important. So I'm just going to continue the stitch. You can see that. Just make sure your stitches are straight. That is very important. It is very, very important. You can see what I'm doing. So here, just stitch it. So when you get to the edge, just place in this right there. Make sure you overlap the black, our main black canvas, which is the main center part. Make sure you overlap it. You're going to make sure you stitch it all the way straight. You're going to stitch it all the way down. Just going to stitch it straight. You can see what I'm doing. So here you have to like stitch it all the way down. You don't need to give a gap at that place. So you guys are saying that. So the next thing you're going to do now is also on the black fabric. So on the black fabric also, just place your black. Just place the black over it like this. You know, we're not stitching the red. Just leave that other one. Leave it separately. We're going to stitch it. That will be the closing stitch. So just lift that one up and also place this one right here. You can see that. So far, if you're enjoying the video, I will still tell you again to smash the like button and subscribe if you're yet to subscribe. So just do the closing right there and do your stitch. You're going to just do your stitch all the way straight. If you're having any difficulty with your machine, make sure you like your stitches are straight. That is very, very important. That's what will determine the neatness of your outfit. You can see what I'm doing. stitch it all up. You can see that. You can see, so you're going to place the red under that black also. You can see that. So first, let me just close the edge. Close up the edge. You can see that. Make sure that place is straight. All those edges are a little bit tricky, so you have to pay attention doing that side. Simply placing this one also, and simply run. Make sure as you're placing that thing, that place is straight, and simply run your stitch. You can see that. You can see that. You can see that. So you just cut out the thread. So now I'm going to change the thread I'll be using for the red also. So the red I will just be closing that side as well. So cut out the excess thread all the way down. So right here on the red, on the other one, on the other color. So just stitch it straight and do the closing at that edge. You can see that. I'm just going to start my stitch. Make sure your hand is straight. It is very, 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 very important. You can see what I'm doing. On that main edge, you can see that. You can see that. I'll stitch it straight. You're going to do the closing exactly at the edge of that red area. So just end it there. You can see that. You're going to do the same thing on this side also. The most important part of this side is that your hand is straight and your stitches also are very, very straight. You can see that. You can see what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing. You can see that. So this is what you're going to be having. This is the result of the design. You can see right there in my hand how smooth that is. So I'll just take you guys to the sewing table now for the closing ironing. You can see how sharp what we did look like. So this is the final result you're going to be having. You can see that. You can see the edge. So all you have to do is to iron it from the back side. That's very, very important. Iron the back side and make sure that back side is smooth. It's as smooth as possible, because that will affect the front. So after ironing the back side, you can see what I have here. When I turn it to the front, you can see what the front is going to look like. You can see how sharp that place is. So just iron the front also, and that is about it on this design. If you like the video so far, as I said earlier, make sure you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification to get notified when I upload newer video. In case you want to see more of my video, there's some video on the screen right now, just click either of them and just watch them.